Alright guys, TouchCryBit back again today. Hope you're enjoying your Friday so far, and today we're going to talk about some Rostermania rumours, but the observant of you may already have noticed there's something going on with the background. Got a bit of a green screen, thought it looks pretty good, trying to take step one to upping the production quality on these videos. Maybe I can rearrange how the video looks, and maybe my face goes in the bottom right hand corner, goes a little bit bigger, not exactly sure. Any recommendations are being treated to hear them, but I don't really want to fix anything that isn't broken, let's put it that way. But today we're going to talk about some Rostermania rumours. This is a big deal. Over the last few days we talked about Dasher to the Huntsman certainly being a possibility, and now there's another couple of things that have come out behind the scenes and have definitely been hinted at by what Crone at CDL Intel has been talking about, and some other kind of cryptic tweets that we see in the Call of Duty community at this time. Pretty entertaining stuff. Intrigued to hear your thoughts down below as always. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new. Rocketing in on 29 and 30,000 subscribers. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Thank you for the support once again. Just before we get into things, I wanted to point out this from the Huntsman. Yesterday, Chicago Huntsman, well, a fake account, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have recognized already. Welcome to the Team Skies. This isn't the case. Do not worry if you guys have been looking at this on the screen for the last minute and thinking, what's going on? Is this actually happening? But no, Mutineers say, thank you TikTok legend Skies, wishing you all the best. I think they're just like going in for the memes here. I doubt they are getting rid of him, and he certainly isn't going to the Huntsman, to my understanding right now. Let's talk about the Ravens very quickly. Mad Cat and Scraps both removed Royal Ravens from their bio like yesterday or the day before. I saw this on Spoonbill, so that is certainly indicative. We see this from Wuskin as well the moment you get released, and you know, we then get this tweet: wherever we go hard. And well, as Rewind says, just renegotiating contracts, the Twins will be back on Royal Ravens, no change, you know, no chance they ain't. But Wuskin says, looking slim bro. And well, Zero comes out with this as well, and it's like, you know, just more cryptic tweets for the Call of Duty community. We see this stuff every single year, pretty entertaining to go through, quite frankly. We get this from Slacked as well: Rostermania is crazy. Why are people saying bait as if it wasn't going to be crazy? It's definitely crazy though. There is zero bait. Apparently a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes right now, and we're going to talk about some of the big teams today. Clayster, of course, released off the Dallas Empire a few days ago, looking for his options right now, tweets this out, and yeah, we get this tweet from Simp as well, taking deep breaths. So we love this stuff in the Call of Duty community. Everyone like looked into these tweets and thinking, you know, what could it possibly mean? And maybe we can put some of the storylines together, especially from what Brustini has to have been saying over the last couple of days. This is the big one that came out over the last 24 hours. Crone at CDL Intel saying, expect every team not named Dallas Empire and potentially the New York Subliners to have at least one new face on the starting lineup next season. Initially, this is a big deal because yesterday we talked about Dashy to the Huntsman. Is that a possibility? What are the chances that that comes true? That may be more and more likely with this information into place, because this is honestly pretty big intel, right? If you're going to say that every single team apart from Dallas, and we know Dallas is going to stick as Crimsix, Illy, Hook and Shotzi, and then New York Subliners not exactly sure right now if they're just going to drop one player and keep the rest of the four in the squad, but every other team is going to make more than one change onto the team and have a new face on the lineup. That means that Huntsmen are going to be bringing at least one new guy, which pretty much means that both Arcetes and Pristini are dropped off the squad. And yeah, we've talked about this being rumoured for a couple of days now, but especially this from Intel Call of Duty does definitely talk to that. Now, you know, I've heard some rumours behind the scenes, going to be going through a couple of them here today. Certainly do keep in mind these are rumours. I have no idea if this is actually going to become reality. Maybe some of these are true behind the scenes, and then for certain reasons they end up falling through, and maybe organisational and contracts get in the way, and maybe people change their minds over the coming days. By no means confirmed. I've heard very little about you know, some of the lower down teams in the league, like mid, bottom tier table teams. It's absolute chaos. Like, who knows what's happening with Paris Legion, for example? I wouldn't even want to guess right now. However, a few people were discussing yesterday over on the Reddit about Arcetes and exactly what's going on there. Everyone in here talking like Arcetes is leaving to play with his brother. Kind of the discussion as a result of this tweet from Crone, saying that, like, you know, Arcetes and Brustini looking like they're going to be leaving the Huntsman then, and someone new coming in, potentially Dashy, as we discussed yesterday. That dude has a huge crush on the Tiny Terrors, and they do on him as well. So Tiny Terrors, of course, being Simp and Abeezy over at Atlanta FaZe. FaZe Arcetes coming right up. I agree, especially seeing how stressed Brustini is about the next season. There's no reason to be stressed if he's going with his brother. Thought this was a pretty interesting observation. A few tweets the last couple of days from Brustini. It's late, so nobody gonna see this, but wowzers, I am stressing. Yeah, we then get this one from Brustini yesterday. A few of you guys pointing out to me, one thing about me, I'm gonna make it work. He did a similar tweet before the Modern Warfare season, you know, kind of just saying, you know, we're gonna put together a squad of underdogs. this type of thing, and I kind of doubt he would be tweeting this. Then again, these are cryptic tweets, it's just how it is, but you know, I kind of doubt he would be tweeting this if he was teaming with his brother, right? And I imagine they would not have a particularly difficult time finding a roster with Prestinni and Arcetes. Like, it seems like everyone wants to team with Arcetes, let's put it that way, if they're going to get rid of him from the Huntsman squad, which isn't by no means guaranteed. We haven't heard anything guaranteeing that, but you know, certainly it seems like an option here. So Prestinni talking about this, and then I put together this nice little graphic here from the COD Gamepedia stuff on what I imagine will go down over the coming days. So we've talked about the Huntsman, Scump, Formula Envoy undoubtedly staying on this roster, I do believe. Then we've got Dashie as the very likely replacement here for the rest of the squad to come into the team. So Scump, Formula Envoy, Dashie is how I imagine it will go. We then talked about how Arcetes, Prestinni and Gunless, that kind of trio on the squad, may go elsewhere. However, as it's looking right now, Prestinni and Gunless may be a team of two, not exactly sure what direction they're looking to go, but Atlanta FaZe are looking very likely, I think, right now to get Arcetes onto the starting lineup. It makes sense for a number of different directions. They want to play with him, it seems, over previous seasons. He probably wants to play with them, and him not sticking with his brother. I mean, it's a difficult one, but it's 4v4, like, what can you do, right? And if Arcetes has the opportunity to team with the likes of aBeZy, Simp and Selim, that makes an awful lot of sense, right? And if you are Atlanta FaZe and you have to choose 3 players out of your 5 and bring in like a main assault rifle, because FaZe may certainly be looking at this previous run they had this season and say, look, if we just had someone a little bit more experienced and more veteran leadership, maybe in the assault rifle position, we may have done a little bit better. And Arcetes been around a number of years now, certainly longer than these guys, at least in professional play. They may think he could be the perfect fit for that squad. So Arcetes, aBeZy, Simp and Selim is a pretty likely squad, I think, right now, and is getting rumoured more and more every single day, to be honest. This is a team that could be absolutely disgusting. If it does get confirmed, if it does get rumoured more heavily, we can talk about it more then, but it kind of makes sense for FaZe to go down this direction. Major Maniac and Priestahh then are kind of left as the odd ones out, and we did talk yesterday about Priestahh to, you know, the Huntsman could make sense in some capacity, but I think it makes more sense for him to go back to Optic Gaming Los Angeles. I imagine that team will like stick with Slasher and Kenny on the squad. I think that makes sense. I think that Slasher and Kenny still want to team together from the 100 Thieves squad back in the day, and Optic Gaming Los Angeles are certainly going to build around what Slasher wants to do with that squad. Bring in Priestahh back from 100 Thieves days kind of makes sense if he is an odd one out here on the FaZe clan team. And well, as Intel Call of Duty says, there's going to be new faces on every squad. Therefore, they're not going to keep 4 of these guys. They're going to keep 3 of these guys and bring someone else in. And if there's a guaranteed 2 you want to keep, it's aBeZy and Simp, no question. If there's a 3rd you want to keep, it's probably Selim, and that leaves Maniac and Priestahh as kind of the odd ones out here. So Priestahh to OGLA is possible. I genuinely have no idea what will happen to Major Maniac here. It's possible he might go back with some of the odd Gen G guys. I mean, maybe like Florida with Havoc or something like that. Could be a possibility, but I really have no idea. And then you've also got to talk about Clayster, right? Like Clayster, I imagine, having got dropped off this squad, probably his first port of call was to go back to aBeZy and Simp and say, look, do you want to team together again? Because, well, certainly if he's looking to build a squad to get revenge on the Dallas Empire for dropping him the previous season, he certainly wants to probably team with aBeZy and Simp again that won him the World Championships most previously. But, yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But, you know, Clayster doing these tweets, like, well, you know, what was the one we looked at a second ago? This one, of course, with the dominoes falling, so things may be falling into place for Clayster a little bit as he's talked about, but I don't think it will be on the Atlanta FaZe team. I think that Arcetes is quite a likely move right now. So these are the key rumours as it stands for the top teams. We know what Empire is going to be. I think that Huntsman will be Scump, Formula Envoy with Dashie. I think that FaZe will be aBeZy, Simp, Selim and Arcetes, and I think that Prestinni and Gunless will go their separate ways and try and look for something else, and maybe Priestahh will go onto the OGLA squad. As for the rest of the teams, genuinely no idea what is going on right now, but as usual we have a number of cryptic tweets here to maybe look through to get some indication. Gunless tweets this out, you know, it's just another one of these gifs, who knows what's going on, but Gunless and Prestinni does kind of make sense as a team of 2. They played with each other back in the day on the United squad throughout the Infinite Warfare season, had some good success there, so Gunless teaming with Prestinni does make sense. Who would want to team with them? Honestly, it's a pretty damn good team of 2, because you've got Prestinni, a good SMG, you've got Gunless, a good flex, so it's probably quite easy for someone to slot in. I mean, maybe Clayster could come into that squad, and that could work, to be honest. I mean, then they need like another SMG. That certainly could potentially work, but yeah, everything far from confirmed right now. All rumours, everything could change. TJ tweets this out, get a little juice, and they forget who they were drinking water with. They love tweeting this out to professional Call of Duty players. I remember Accuracy did it a while ago as well, but who knows what goes on with TJ, right? Because if you look at that OGLA squad, TJ and Dashie were kind of like the duo coming in for the previous season, and if Dashie's going to the Huntsman, where does that leave TJ here, right? Because Slasher and Kenny, I imagine, still want to team together on that squad. I imagine OGLA will base the team around them, and if they were to bring Priestahh into the team as kind of like an SMG flex, whatever they want to do, Slasher would be main AR, Kenny would be like an SMG, even though Kenny can flex as well, as we've seen, and then of course you've got Priestahh in maybe as as a main SMG, probably is, who knows, right? He can do whatever he wants, really. Priester, one of the best flexes in the game. But then on that squad, you do need another dedicated SMG player. So maybe you keep TJ, which, is certainly a possibility. And then again, maybe you also think about bringing in or keeping, Drazah on the team, right? Drazah was pretty good this season. Maybe you feel like he'll be a better fit than TJ. Will TJ bounce back in this new season? Who knows? Like, didn't have the best didn't have the best Modern Warfare, of course, but definitely had the best previous couple of seasons. So, don't want to read into this tweet too much, but very interesting to see if OGLA decide to keep 3 players and bring in Priester. That's an option, and that seems like a pretty nice team on paper. But it's also possible that TJ isn't here because, well, I think there were some clashes with Slasher this season, even though they've teamed certainly in the past on Rise Nation and stuff like that. But, it felt like Slasher was kind of frustrated with TJ's lack of belief at times in what their squad could do, especially when they brought in Cheetah, and maybe he's slightly concerned. And we've heard Slasher talk about, a number of times really on the podcast and stuff, how he really values players' willingness to grind and willingness to get on and practice and really like put in the extra time to win. And maybe he doesn't feel like TJ has that right now if he's on a squad that he doesn't believe in. So intriguing to see where TJ goes as a result of all of this. We then get this from GodRx. I mean, the Minnesota squad is very, very uncertain right now, but he says minus setback for a major comeback. So I mean, like, what does this mean, right? Is GodRx going to be released off the squad? Is that what he's implying here with the minus setback? Where does GodRx even go as a squad? Like, his stock should be pretty solid, but I mean, it's not exactly spectacular given what happened the latter half of the season, going to the online era, and the potential of who knows whether it's going to be online again next season, even though, well, hopefully that is certainly not the case. Slack says a similar thing as well. It's certainly a big deal of uncertainty on the, on the Seattle Surge squad, what goes on there. I imagine that they probably want to extend Octane's contract to keep him on that squad, at least to build around him once again with a new organization. Do they keep Apathy as an SMG? Who knows? He's had decent success with Slacked in the past, but then again, that team was such a shambles this season. I don't blame Seattle Surge for absolutely wanting to blow it up. And well, Slacked might be in a difficult position. We've heard him, talk a number of times this season about Mac, for example, and Mac Melt's awakening at how, like, either they don't deserve a spot or they're cheating to some degree or something like that. And, will that come back to bite him here? Maybe, with him getting released off the team. Don't know if that will happen. I do think Slack's certainly an underrated player over the last few years and probably still deserves a starting spot, but I'm not exactly sure where that will be. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. As always, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.